Brings a smile to my face every time. Yes, I do recognize that man.
That's the man. He helped out the black people.
He's going to be the president again. It's Donald Trump.
President.
What's your opinion of Donald Trump?
Donald Trump speaks the truth.
I like him. I think he's a character.
He's a misogynist pig and a liar.
Trump rhymes with dumb.
I'm jacking Trump.
You're jacking him?
Yeah, I'm jacking him. That means, like, you know, I with Trump.
I thought that meant something else.
Nah, hell no.
I like that. Johnny, ho, ho, ho.
Donald Trump is on trial in Manhattan.
Child, come and see me. Come and see me.
Finally?
That trial, bro. We need him back in the office, bro.
Oh, I did not know that.
I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me now for the first time.
Donald Trump is the new court case of the century. I'm Alex R. Wagner, and this is No News is News. Woo! Hey, we doing it. Got my brand. I'm ready for this. Like, Twisted Tea, sign me up. Twisted Tea gotta sponsor my ass for doing this podcast. The world has went upside down, everybody, and because the world is upside down, I am in need of a drink, but I'm also in need of motivation to do this kind of podcast. So motivation. You might be hearing a blender from one of my roommates right now. That's them eating at 9:30 at night on a Friday, doing their thing. Don't fucking ask me. That's society. That's where we're at. We don't care about anybody else's stuff. We just pay attention to what we're doing. Right? So O.J. Simpson, the reason I mentioned that is that O.J. Simpson died less than a week ago, guys. And it was really funny because the memes for the last 24 hours of the O.J. Simpson life were very funny. It was a funny little meme that we did with his life there at the end. And then, of course, CNN and MSNBC had to like go and ruin it by like being like, there was a reason and it was race and race was the reason and blah, blah, blah. But here we are. And literally what? 2 days later? I think it was 2 days later. We're now in a new court case of the century. Like the big, huge court case thing. Except this one isn't even a murder trial. This one's not even all that interesting. It involves a porn star, a weasel, and a reality TV guy that went to become president, and how he paid people off. He paid people off. He's not going to prison. That's definitely true. But they're gonna treat this thing anyway, like it's the craziest court case of the century. I think everybody's looking for an answer to what 2024's election will be, and they're hoping that by the end of this one court case, the only court case is actually gonna come about, that they will get an answer other than Trump, Trump. But I don't think that they're going to. I think that Donald Trump's got this one in the bag. And I'm gonna show you guys today why I think Donald Trump has this in the bag. There's a lot of reasons, but first, let's go to the fact that they're exacerbating this court case and making it out to be what it isn't, which is the OJ court case. The OJ court case was very interesting. It was post-Rodney King riots. We were looking for the retaliation of getting one over on the police, especially the LAPD. Let's be specific here. It wasn't really a race-related thing. It was just that everyone hates the LA Police Department. And we knew they were corrupt, and we knew that they were beating black guys in the streets on highways, in the case of Rodney King. And so when OJ came about and you got to see all these sleazy, slimy LAPD officers doing their thing again, all you wanted was for the guy, the myth, the legend, the Black Terry Bradshaw of his time to come out of the woodwork and win one for the team. And I think that he did. I think he won one for the team. And I think that a lot of people on CNN and MSNBC tried to explain that this last week with his death, but had a really hard time and a racial time doing so. But now here we are. Those same organizations, the same people are trying to now make a presidential court case about hush money payments to a porn star, the same thing as a murder trial of a black man that happened to be also extremely rich and successful and on the same pedestal as Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is even bigger as a court case, but I don't think that it should be. It doesn't. Most of America doesn't know what the circumstances are of the case. Yet most of America now knows that Donald Trump is in a court case. And when we start this whole thing off, with the jury selection. And of course, we're going to hear about this every single freaking day until it's over, because most of the media is looking for some pie in the sky solution to making sure that Joe Biden gets reelected or that Donald Trump doesn't. And they're going to start off with a juror, one of the 7 that was selected on the first day of the trial. They have to select 12, as in 12 angry men, but now it can be women. And in this case, on MSNBC, it can also be I don't know. I guess we call them blue-haired chicks, but yeah, she's gonna explain to you why she couldn't be on the Trump case. It doesn't really seem like that.
This Kat, she runs a VC fund here in Manhattan for folks that are over 60 years of age. She was just dismissed as a potential juror. What happened? Why were you dismissed?
Because I couldn't be impartial.
You couldn't be impartial. So when the judge asked that hand, can you be impartial? You raised your hand and you said you cannot.
Exactly.
Wow. When did you first come?
On Tuesday.
On Tuesday. And at that point, when did you realize that this was a trial involving the ex-president of the United States, Donald Trump?
So we were here on Tuesday from 9 a.m.
Yeah.
But we realized that it's about this case on 4 p.m. We went into the courtroom and we saw Donald Trump.
You went into the courtroom at 4 p.m. on Tuesday and you see Donald Trump.
Yeah, we didn't know before that.
What was your first thought?
I was shocked. I was sitting on the second row, like 6 feet away. And when I realized that Trump is there, I was like, oh, wow.
They made these people wait for 7 hours? They waited 7 hours before they knew that they were in the Trump case. And then this lady's like, excuse me, can I please leave? Now that we know, can I just want to do my Maddow interview? I don't care. I'm going to be honest on this one. I just need my Maddow in review. Goodbye. And so that's how we're treating the jurors. That's how we're treating the court case of Donald Trump. Every little bit of it matters, even though we have no audio or video in the courtroom. Speculations of him falling asleep, but it doesn't matter because there's a man that lit himself on fire today for no reason. Go.
Oh my God.
All right, there's a fire that has started, as you can see live. We wonder if a person is on fire. In the fire. We apologize for showing this. Get a fire extinguisher. Do we have a fire extinguisher in the truck? Do we have a fire extinguisher in the truck? Connor, bring a fire extinguisher out. Anyone have a fire extinguisher?
No, they don't want it.
We deeply apologize for what has happened. This man.
Eric, we're going to let you.
They are putting jackets over the body of this man.
The way that Fox News covers this, where they literally cut away realizing that a man is on fire and lit himself on fire because of Donald Trump. And the photo they show is a really weird hand-drawn photo of Trump in court. And then for the guy to be like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for this. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry this man lit himself on fire and inconvenienced all of our days. In New York City, people are insane, and so insanity follows, and that's all I can say here. I have a smile on my face because if anybody wants to light themselves on fire for Donald Trump, go right the fuck ahead. You are crazy, and you are only giving more fuel to my laughter. So after Fox News discovered that a man lit himself on fire at the Trump court case, a police officer from New York had to explain man on fire. So here is a police officer depicting a man lighting himself on fire.
But at 1:30 this afternoon, right here in Collect Pond Park, which is directly opposite of a New York County Criminal Court at 100 Center Street, where the trial of former President Trump is currently taking place, we observe a male walk into the park. He walks into the center of the park. When he's in the park, he starts shuffling around his clothes. He opens up a book bag. From the book bag, he takes numerous pieces of papers, pamphlets out. He throws the pamphlets throughout the park, and then he pulls out a canister and pours some kind of liquid on himself, a liquid we believe is an accelerant, and he lights himself on fire. The male, he takes a couple of steps while he's on fire, and then eventually falls onto a police barrier and falls down to the ground. He's on fire. Another area in the park where some of the accelerant spilt is also on fire. Civilians, court officers, members of the police department, they run into the park. They make efforts to put him out. They use their coats.
Okay, things are, I guess, even weirder than lighting yourself on fire because of a prostitution case about Donald Trump. I guess the world is even more strange. And I'm not even talking about Israel or Palestine, people. I'm not talking about transgender sex reassignment surgeries. I am not talking about any of that. Because Jesus Christ. All right. Gonna pull it up. Got myself my pirate water. Whew. Joe Biden just claimed that his uncle was eaten by cannibals in the army. Thought this was a beer, not a beer. Tastes like a Four Loko. Not sure how to feel about that.
My Uncle Bosie was a hell of an athlete, they tell me, when he was a kid. And he became an Army Air Corps before the Air Force came along. He flew those single-engine planes as reconnaissance over war zones. He got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there were a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea.
If you want to know why I'm getting drunk tonight, why I'm doing this podcast this way, what's going on, it's because Joe Biden's claiming that his uncle was eaten by cannibals. And that's insane. It's because Donald Trump was in court this week. And the most interesting thing about his court case was that a man lit himself on fire for no reason. If you want to know why I took a little bit of a break from this show, it's because of this. Joe Biden claiming uncle eaten by cannibals. Peter Ducey, new Fox News guy. He's going to be like, excuse me, eaten by cannibals?
President Biden saying he was shot down. There's no evidence of that. And why is he saying that his uncle was eaten by cannibals? That is a bad way to go.
He lost his life. It's not, look, I'm not, we should not make jokes about
It's
this.
not.
Wait.
President Biden said that his uncle was eaten by cannibals.
I mean, your last line, it's for a laugh. It's for a funny statement. And he takes this very seriously. His uncle, who served and protected this country, lost his life serving.
Yes, it is funny that Joe Biden said that his uncle was eaten by cannibals. They've still not answered the question as to why he claimed that his uncle was eaten by cannibals. If he was eaten by cannibals, election Joe Biden. Okay? But I need proof. Send it to the P.O. box of Robert Kennedy Jr. at your earliest convenience. Signed head of fucking party shit. Okay? Joe Biden, I want to know if your uncle was actually eaten by cannibals. This guy wants to know. And if I find out that you are lying about this, I will never vote for you, sir. But if I find out you're telling the truth and your uncle was actually eaten by cannibals after falling out of a helicopter, how can you not vote for Joe Biden? His uncle was eaten by cannibals after falling out of a helicopter. We must solve this. We must solve this, people. If we don't solve this, what else is there to solve? Was Joe Biden's uncle eaten by cannibals after falling out of a helicopter? Let me know in the comments section below. Hit that hashtag like button. Boom, 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 boom. Subscribe. Uku, uku, banka. On with the show. I really thought, and this is the reason that it took me a minute to get back to the show. I really thought that this episode was going to be the episode post P. Diddy, post Diddy do it. I thought that this episode was going to be all about how I had to kind of make fun of Trump during his court case. But the only thing that's happened politically during Trump's court case, I mean, besides the man falling asleep, and then also the first day, he was like, it's cold. It's really cold in there.
I'm sitting here for days now, from morning till night, in that freezing room, freezing. Everybody was freezing in there.
The fact that he's only complaining about it being cold. But he's not the most interesting story of this week, people. He's not the thing that we're after comedically, people. The thing we're after comedically, people, is Joe Biden explaining that in every small town that he goes to across America, he is flipped off by an 8-year-old.
Going through a neighborhood or a rural town in the West or something, and see big signs that have a Trump sign in the middle that says F. Biden, and having a little kid standing with his middle finger, 7 years old, 8 years old. Well, I promise it happens all the time.
That's not okay. We got more Biden stuff. We got Joe Biden found out what his tagline's going to be for the entire election. So let's check it out. This is how Joe Biden is going to pitch you to win back his own presidency.
Today, we face another inflection point in history. The 2024 election about two fundamentally different visions for America. Donald Trump's vision is one of anger, hate, revenge, and retribution. He embraces the insurrectionists of January the 6th. He's running on it. And as mentioned already, he promised to be a dictator on day one, his own words. And he called for, he means it. And he calls for another bloodbath when he loses again.
Yep. Donald Trump's going to be a dictator, and he's awesome. Got it. Awesome. Cool. Well, now that we're done with the nonsense, let's get into the nonsense. More nonsense featuring Joe Biden.
What's it take to be an electrician? You say, well, you just say, you get a little bit of training. 4 to 5 years of training to become an electrician. You're the best in the world. That's why it's really take. No, I really mean it.
Joe Biden went to Pennsylvania talking to some electricians, and he's not kidding. He's not kidding. This is good. Did I do a good, accurate impression of whatever the fuck that was? Woo! You know what? I think Joe Biden can probably, he can definitely win the election. The only thing he has to do is go to every single trade and do the same thing. Be like, electricians, I'm not kidding, you're the best. Bridge makers, not kidding, you're the best. Macaroni and cheese manufacturer makers, I'm not kidding. You're the best. It sounds like a play out of George W. Bush's book. Except, Mr. Joe Biden, you're not as charming as that little feller. All right, here's Joe Biden talking about inflation as though it's a child that just won't go away.
We brought down inflation considerably by over 2/3. And it is being stubborn and not going down to the 2% we need, but it's significantly different, number one. Number two, the thing that really affects people's lives are all the small things that add up to big numbers for people. All these junk fees that, for example, for a family like mine growing up, if you bounce the credit card, if you're late to credit card payment, they charge you $35 instead of $3, $4, $5, $8. The same way with the whole range of things.
I love how they talk about it. They keep talking about inflation like it's a person. We tried. We negotiated with inflation. It was gonna do its thing, but then like inflation decided to stay out at 10 p.m. and then we were like, inflation, you're grounded. You're grounded, inflation. And if you don't knock it off, you're grounded for life. And then inflation reminded us that Grounded for Life was a TV show that they didn't even understand because they're younger than me. And then I feel old. And then, I mean, we tried, but like inflation did its thing. What do we do? What do we do now? We do. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do now? Don't jump.
Don't jump.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Aw, guys, we're done with the whole Joe Biden hour. I need to take another drink because Joe Biden hour is so fun, and now we're going to have to talk about the war and stuff. Here's the press secretary. What's your comment on Israel hitting Iran with a bomb or whatever?
In the Middle East, why is it that you don't have any comment at this time? It's been several hours since the reported strike. Certainly that's enough time for the administration to investigate and come up with something to say.
I'm just going to be really mindful, just going back to what I said just before I called on you to ask me this question. So I'm not going to speak or speculate about any of the reports that are out there. I'm not going to comment, and I'm just going to leave it there.
No comment. Got it. Hey, Pentagon, GOP, G7, G-Unit. What's your response? Iran, Israel, bomb. Yo, what you doing?
On the first question, the reports that you've seen, I'm not going to speak to that, except to say that the United States has not been involved in any offensive operations.
No comment. Got it. Cool. So we're going to no comment our way out of World War III. You want to know what's really funny? I find it extremely hilarious that the verbiage used by the people that are murdering thousands of human beings with military weapons seem to have the same rhetoric. What is it that they say? It's just something like, we will respond at a time and a place of our choosing. What the fuck they think this is? WWE? They think this goddamn Mankind like fucking sock puppet? Goddamn fucking Triple H, suck it? No. This is goddamn war. But at the same time, the whole damn thing, all of war, all of it, fucking Wag the Dog. Wag the Dog, great movie. Woody Harrelson, go fucking watch it. Wag the Dog, real life, stupid fucking fireworks, shot up in the air. Iran, hey yo, we're shooting a bomb at you. You should knock that down. Calls up France, calls up Sweden, France, yo, US, call Israel, yo, bomb coming your way. Fireworks in the sky tonight. No school. We awesome. That's war. wag the dog. Protesting the war is a really stupid thing to do, but people in New York keep doing it. And at the University of Columbia, cops decided to arrest the annoying, shitty protesters.
That's my girl! That's my girl! Yeah! Yeah! You look great! Love you! Yeah! Yeah, that's the leader.
Want to know what makes these protesters so much more shitty than like the stupid fucking Save Our Lives people or the what is it, the 1%ers or the fucking BLMs or any of that shit? These people we can't as a public figure out what the fuck these people are. Half the time we call them pro-Palestine protesters. Are they protesting Palestine? No, because they're pro-Palestine. But if they're pro-Palestine, then they must be anti-Israel. Anti-Israel protesters? Well, that's aggressive. We're in America. What the fuck is going on? I don't know. That, in a nutshell, is fucking New York City. And the goddamn reason why I will not be moving back. I love my fucking beaches. It's 35 minutes away. I just went fucking today, did a little nice jog, fucking go downtown Orlando, have a little mini golf, do a little fucking putt-putt, do a little fucking Disney action, finger my little butthole, go over to Tampa, remember Tom Brady, Brady Life, pray to Brady Life statue, game over. Florida ever.
Florida is one hell of a drug.
Man is illegal immigrant. Sorry, might be offensive. Call him a migrant. Sorry, might be offensive. Call him a newcomer. Sorry, might have heard that I watched a Trump speech. Not calling him newcomer. Back to illegal immigrant. Anyway, regardless of whatever the fuck you want to call it, this man, human being number one, goes into said country, stabby stab, stabby stab, rape rape, rape rape a little, stabby stab. Oh my God. This man, who's not from here, did stabby stab and rape on this lady who is from here. And now, stabby stab guy and lady that got raped that's from here are in the national spotlight because of T-R-U-M-P, Trump, 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 Trump. And what are we going to do about this to make ourselves look like a good country? Well, we're going to like release this guy on parole and then have like Josh Hawley call out this motherfucker. Josh Hawley, calling out this motherfucker.
And now we do have the parole file. And now we all know that the reason he was paroled into this country was because lack of detention capacity, which, as you and I both know, is not a valid reason under the statute. And now that we know that for sure, this is right out of the parole file. Here it is. Subject was paroled due to detention capacity at the Central Processing Center in El Paso, Texas. Now suddenly you don't want to talk about it. This is extraordinary. It's also a pattern with you. So let me just try one more time. Have you read the parole file?
Senator, I'm going to give the same answer, and let me say it.
Well, which one? Are you going to give me the answer you gave to Senator Britt? Are you going to give the answer you gave to Congressman Bishop, or the answer you gave to Senator Paul, or do you want to try a fourth one?
Senator, I will not speak to the particulars of the case, given the pending criminal
Yeah,
prosecution.
well, I'm sure. Well, you certainly, of course you don't want to, because it is an absolutely damning indictment.
I don't like to sound like Stephen Crowder. And it's even harder for me to not fall in to the Joe Rogan, Alex Jones thing. But holy fucking shit. Thank you, Josh Hawley, for calling out this bald penis of a man who let out a murderer on parole who doesn't even fucking live here. If you want to know what's going on with this whole Alana Mayorkas thing and the fucking impeachment, here is one Mitch McConnell making the most sense of any human being on the Senate floor.
The Senate will be in order. Would senators please take their conversations to the cloak?
Madam President, we've set a very unfortunate precedent here. This means that the Senate can ignore, in effect, the House's impeachment. It doesn't make any difference whether our friends on the other side thought he should have been impeached or not. He was. And by doing what we just did, we have, in effect, ignored the directions of the House, which were to have a trial. We had no evidence, no procedure. This is a day that's not a proud day in the history of the Senate.
What? When this man said that he was going to step away from leadership of the Republican Party, I was like, oh, thank God. And then when he was like, I'm going to still be a senator, everybody was like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, man. But then you realize that with getting old comes knowledge. And you can explain really simple things that I guess others just can't understand. Yo, House fucking rep of representatives, this fucking Mike guy, right? His name's Michael. I think his name's Michael. He's like a Michael of all fucking Michaels. He's like the fucking Mike. He is fucking Mike. You know? Like, everybody has a fucking nice, simple friend named Mike. And this is fucking Michael. This is what Michael fucking does. Michael splits a bill into 4 bills and is like, vote on the shit you fucking want, man. And then you still got Marjorie Taylor Greene, fucking White Lady McGee, a.k.a. a Karen. And Karen's always trying to go with Mike. Karen's always trying to be like, no, Mike, you're not allowed to do that, Mike. If you do that, Mike, then I'm going to sue you as Karen. But Mike don't give no fucks. Because Mike wants you to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And he says, fuck you, Karen. You ain't doing no fucking thing to Mike. Because Mike rules the fucking house, bitch.
Why are you willing to risk losing your job over this Ukraine funding?
Listen, my philosophy is you do the right thing and you let the chips fall where they may. If I operated out of fear over a motion to vacate, I would never be able to do my job. Look, history judges us for what we do. This is a critical time right now, a critical time on the world stage. I could make a selfish decision and do something that's different, but I'm doing here what I believe to be the right thing. I think providing lethal aid to Ukraine right now is critically important. I really do. I really do believe the intel and the briefings that we've gotten that I believe Xi and Vladimir Putin and Iran really are an axis of evil. I think they're in coordination on this. I think that Vladimir Putin would continue to march through Europe if he were allowed. I think he might go to the Balkans next. I think he might have a showdown with Poland or one of our NATO allies.
All right, so you know how they were just arresting children for pro-Palestine or anti-Israel or whatever the fuck you want to call it, protest tents at University of Columbia? Well, University of Columbia fucking head chair or something, some rep from the school, she's going to answer questions. Or not really answer questions, but be told that her student handbook means that her students can't read?
Okay, can you help me understand something else? I didn't go to an Ivy League school, admittedly. What can you explain why the word folks is spelled F-O-L-X throughout this guidebook and in other places at the School of Social Work? What does that mean? Serious question.
They don't know how to spell? I mean, I'm not familiar with that spelling.
I'm not. I don't find it a laughing matter.
No, I'm not laughing either. I think it's.
You're denying that this is a official product of the school, but this is handed out to all of you. You are aware that it's handed out to all of your students, and you're not doing anything to stop it.
As I said, it's not an official product of the administration.
Is this how Columbia University spells the word folks?
No.
Okay. And does Columbia University recognize the word? Because it's not found in the Webster's dictionary or anywhere else, Ashken normativity. Right. Is that an acceptable term at Columbia University?
Congressman, I am with you. I agree with you that I don't find this a meaningful way of...
This is handed out on your watch.
As I said, this is not a product of Columbia University.
All right. Whew. Flex, folks. Wait, fakes, folks. Folks. So the whole time I was thinking about folks, and I was like, folks is spelled F-O-L-K-S, right? Like folks. But this was spelled folks with an X, is what they said. So is that F-O-L-X? Folks. Folks versus folks. And does it change what it means? All I know is that the letter K is extremely racist, and we should probably get rid of it. We really should. I like X a lot more. I have an X currently in my name, Alexander. There's no fucking K in my name because I'm not a fucking racist. So just remember that when you're like talking about K's versus X's. X's are always awesome. K's? Put 3 of them together. There you go. So tell me, how much does a bushel of ammo cost from the American Navy or Army or whatever the fuck is going on? This little bag of metal, how much?
This, Mr. Secretary, is a bag of bushings. This bag of bushings, stamped out by machinists, they need a high school diploma. It's not anything high tech about this. All of this bag is compliant with the FAA specifications. How much do you think the Air Force pays for this bag of bushings?
I don't know, Congressman.
$90,000.
Antique Roadshow? $90,000. Do you think that he's saying that the bushel is worth $90,000, or does he think that he's saying that we're overpaying for a bushel of ammo? Because I currently think, if we're going to ban all guns, then ammo costs more. So maybe each one of those costs like $300 because it does $300 of damage. And if you do $300 of damage, then you'd because it's like what? Like $300 damage. That's like 4 bullets is like over $1,000. And so if it's $90,000 to the bushel, and say you got Yeah, say you got like 40 in that bag. You carrying more than 90,000. If it's just 300. And is a life not worth $300 to you? Is it not? Because it is to me. Oh my God, everybody. Last clip. Fucking never again. I thought this was like, it's really cool, like cool logo, right? Cool logo. And I was like, oh, that's cool logo. And then like at the top, it says Miami Vice. I don't know if you can check that out. But like, and this is pirate water. And so I was like, all right, I'll do this. This is my first like, drunk Friday night show. I'll do this one. And instead it was like, this is some fucking fake Florida Four Loko. And if I was like 70, I'd be like, oh my God, this is the sweetest beer I've ever tasted. But instead I'm just like, this is Four Loko, and I'm going to have acid reflux crazily tomorrow. So moving forward, I think the only thing I'm ever going to drink on this show is the Twisted of the teas. Mrs. Twisted Tea. And Mrs. Twisted Tea is going to probably be making a little bit more appearances. This guy, not so much. I wanted to have a light beer. I wanted to have a beer that didn't give me acid reflux. But at the end of the day, the Twisted is what I want. The Twisted is what I asked for. The Twisted is what gets the show twisted. Maybe I'll watch this back and I'll be like, fuck that. I'm going to do this show sober as fuck. Maybe I'm like, you know what? Actually, the show must be much more serious. Actually, the show should have Joel Osteen as a guest every week. Seth Rogen every other week. And we will discuss politics. But instead, I'm like, nah, fuck all that. Let's watch John Cougar Mellencamp fucking melt down on stage like a fucking lunatic. Go!
Before I was so rudely interrupted, guys, I can stop this show right now and just go home.
Grandma was waving her arthritic finger. We're totally listening.
Tell you what I'm going to do. Since you've been so wonderful, I'm going to cut about 10 songs out of the show. Here we go. A little ditty about Jack Diane. Tonight is going in the heartland. You know what? Show's over.
Ooh, Jack Diane, growing up in the foreign land. Ooh, Jack and Diane. I love how he's like, I'll sing you the song you wanted to sing. And fucking Jack and Diane. Everybody's like, oh my God, he's singing it already. Ah, where's my fucking pot of water? Ah. And then he's like, really? Fuck y'all. I'm John Cougar Mellencamp, and I ain't no fucking Bruce Springsteen. I'm a gangster, and gangsters drink fucking pirate water. It tastes like fruit punch from Tampa Bay. I'll see you all tomorrow for more action, but actually not tomorrow because it's a weekly show. So I'll see you in a week. That guy like literally lit himself on fire because of the Trump trial. Joe Biden said his uncle was eaten by cannibals. Donald Trump's worst complaint about being in court is that it's cold. And Iran and Israel can't figure out who fucking shot the fucking firework. Goodbye. I will see you later at some fucking point next week. Goodbye.
Guys, I guess just don't fall the fucking sky, you know?